Good evening and welcome to the April 20th, 2022 meeting of the Town of Waterboro Planning Board. Tonight we have, looks like, 4 items on our agenda. First will be Waterboro Safe Storage application. Next will be reviewing for the findings of fact. The E23 LLC application for the location of a 30,000 gallon LPG tank. Then we'll talk about Girard Farm and the conditional use for horticulture activities. And last we'll adjourn and then go into a workshop to speak about the mobile vending article. But before we do that, we'll ask Angela to please call the roll of the board.
Clyde Smith.
Present.
Edwin Zelmanoff.
Present.
Lori Anthony.
Here.
Rebecca Higgins.
Present.
And Diane Gray.
Here.
Everybody's present.
All right, thank you. So seeing as we have 5 out of 6, I believe, we have a new member that will be coming eventually. So we do have a quorum to take up our business. Starting with the review of the March 16th, 2022 meeting minutes that members of the board should have received and hopefully had a chance to review. And we'll open it up to the board if there's any comments or suggested changes. Lori.
I had 2.
Did you? I did. Go first.
Okay. They're spelling errors, I think, in people's name, which I think is important for documentation. But first paragraph, Kim Prescott's last name. And the notes under Dwayne Prescott's testimony.
Okay.
Did you say it, Kim Prescott's property where it says that?
Yeah.
And then David, is that how you spell his name? That was just a question. Because I think it's Boudreau. Should there be a U on the end there?
I'll have to check that
Okay.
one, but I think so.
Oh, no, there she is again.
Those were the 2 I had.
Perfect. Got it.
Lori?
Under the last paragraph, Brad Prescott's comments, he cited a date that the zoning was changed. If you could change that to October 2021.
Got it.
And then on next to the last page, where Ed made a motion for the mobile vending.
Yep.
That motion was postponed, not tabled. That was a motion to postpone, not table. Sorry.
Got it.
Thank you. That's it from me.
All right, hearing no other changes, then we will accept the meeting minutes as written and amended here this evening. So moving on then, into old business, we will again take up Waterboro Safe Storage, and picking up where we had left off, I think the big item was regarding Building 1.
Yep,
Am I correct?
and we supplied you some information from State Fire Marshal that basically exempts self-storage, single-story self-storage from sprinkler requirements.
Well, are all the storage in Building 1 being accessed directly from the outside? Because at the last meeting you said that they were going to be accessed from the inside and outside.
Correct. That's what the floor plan shows.
Okay, so it doesn't meet that exception then? Because all the storage spaces cannot be accessed directly from the exterior. Only some of them. And I think you're going to...
Well, I mean,
Yeah, come on, Mike.
I think, to Ed's point, as you can see, there's the print of Building 1 up on the screen. this portion here to the right is office use here, and then, as you said, there's a passage corridor with access on the inside. At that point, that makes this building a mixed-use occupancy. So it may not escalate to the point or warrant a sprinkler system, but it will definitely necessitate a firewall of some manner. Now, where it's over 3,000 square feet, and it is a mixed occupancy building, it also will require a fire marshal approval, a barrier-free permit from the fire marshals. And it's not a huge ordeal or anything, it's just another facet to this particular building. And probably if I had to guess, what the fire marshals will recommend is this wall. You'll see where this looks like it's a masonry wall here in the center.
Yeah.
This wall here next to the utility room and the restrooms, that will become a 2-hour fire separation, separating the business use from the storage use.
And it will also have a fire door on it, I'm assuming?
That's correct, and it'll have a 2-hour fire door as well. That's my assumption. That's kind of how the building code works, and the fire marshals, the NFPA is similar, sometimes different, but they do have a tendency to be more stringent. So that's the only change that I see. It'll be a relatively simple fire marshal approval, because the storage, or the hazard rather, is very, very low. It's only a storage unit, but it is a mixed occupancy, so it will necessitate some separation.
And is that part of the building permit process?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that will be prior to your building permit process, because you'll have to have fire marshal approval before I have the authority to approve the buildings.
And do we have anything from the state fire marshal or our local fire marshal stating that a sprinkler system is not required?
No, that will come through the fire marshal, marshal's review. I talked to Mark Bello last week and discussed that with him.
Okay, and they're of the opinion no sprinklers?
Well, it has to be reviewed thoroughly before we make that determination. We can't make that determination here.
Okay, so another hold up to this.
Well, that's all part of the permitting process.
That's part of the building
permitting?
That'll be part of the building permitting.
Okay, so as long as our conditions include that
Fine.
all requirements of the state fire marshal are met
Exactly.
before anything's issued, okay.
Yep.
All right, we don't need to then go into it.
Excellent.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Questions, comments from,
No, the only comment I'll have is just to reiterate, there was a question on the culvert, and actually, the Public Works Director actually looked at that, and he's okay with that, so it's no longer an issue for us.
all right, and we did receive the stormwater management plan,
Yeah.
And you get the
Permitting.
permitting.
And the
the
permit.
permit, right. Okay, good. All right, so looking at my list, let's see. So I don't see that there were any other issues that would hold up this application going to a final motion then. If somebody would like to make that motion.
Did you want to add your marshal conditional approval, or are you all set with them taking care of that themselves in the
No, I think they're going to have to meet it, otherwise, yeah, building permit won't be issued, and I'm assuming the certificate of occupancy would get hung up as well
Correct.
at some point, so.
You're good with that, right?
Yep.
Okay, Mike's good with that. I make a motion.
Okay.
Sorry.
Sorry. You can make a motion to approve the application?
I do. Thank you. That's all I was concerned about, is if Mike was happy.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve the application for the Waterboro safe storage.
Yes.
All right, do we have a second?
I'll second
All right,
that.
Lori will second it. Okay, all in favor? We have 5 yeas. All right, thank you very much, guys.
Here's the plans for signature.
You want those in?
We go down there. All right. Okay, which brings us to the Fabian Oil facility and the findings of fact. You can come up. All right. So you guys have received the findings of fact and conditions of approval. And I went through the findings of fact and given to you as a copy of what I typed up instead of just reading from my notes and everybody having to try and write it down feverishly as I'm speaking. I decided I would type up my thoughts, and this way you have it in front of you what we can talk about. So on the 4 conditions of approval, do we have any modifications to it?
Yeah, no, those were what were decided in the meeting. I'm good with them.
Okay.
I didn't see the actual final, I don't know if I...
Okay, you don't have a copy of this?
No. I'll swap it. Thank you.
Okay, so let's go through the findings of fact. All right, number 1 seemed good. I'm just going to go down. If somebody has something to speak about on one of them, just speak up. So 1 looked okay. 2 looked all right. I was just wondering if conditions 3 and 4 should be written in there. The actual language that we use as a finding of the conditions.
They're on the front, so they're on the front as conditions. I don't see a need to.
Right, but it's not a finding of fact. It's in your the findings of fact are used as the basis for approval of the application. And it's basically all of the requirements set out in the ordinance, and that we're trying to state that, yep, it meets that requirement, and here's why.
Okay, so just to be clear, this is your thoughts, and this is what we're reviewing.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
So, okay, so we're still on page 1, and these 4 conditions, we're being asked to replace them with this?
No.
Okay.
These are the 4 conditions that we spoke about at the last meeting when we pared down
Yep,
the
okay.
larger list down to
Yep.
these 4.
Okay,
So those are the conditions of approval. Those are conditions that the applicant has to meet. The findings of fact are what we're basing our approval on.
okay.
So if anybody asks you, why did you approve this? Because I feel it doesn't do this, you can say, well, here's our finding. And that's where all of the proof and documentation and everything comes up. So for it to be a finding that we're basing our decision on, then what's written in the conditions of approval should go into the findings of fact.
So are you saying that your numbers here correspond with these over here? Okay, all right, all right. I was
Yeah.
just trying to understand what this piece of paper
Yeah, and
was.
that's why you see it's 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, and 12. Those are the only
Okay.
ones that I have suggested changes to. Other than me reading what I have here.
So are you saying the wording should be replaced with what you've put here?
Right. Right, when we get to each one, like number 3. Because number 3 has, if you look, the first sentence of number 3 should actually be part of number 4.
Can you read what you're referring to?
Yeah.
That's going to be easier for me.
Yeah, number 3 I have, number 3, the criteria is the proposed exterior lighting will not create hazards to motorists traveling on adjacent public streets, be inadequate for the safety of occupants or users of the site, or will damage the value and diminish the usability of adjacent properties. My finding, because this deals with lighting and such, my finding is any new lighting will be motion activated, full cutoff LED lights with an override option to allow lighting while work is conducted in the evening. So that's our finding to say that they satisfy number 3.
But wouldn't that be in addition to what's been put here?
It does say the lighting.
It already says the
motion
cutoffs
Yeah.
are in there, so I don't care.
Right, right. I just took out the first sentence and put it into 4 because the first sentence deals with buffering, which is number 4.
But in number 4, it says right there, there's gonna be no cutting of any vegetative.
Right,
buffers.
which we're leaving. That's staying in there. I just moved the sentence down and rewrote it. So number 4 is the provisions for buffers and on-site landscaping provides adequate protection to neighboring properties from detrimental features of the development. So number 4, as I've rewritten it, is taking what is in number 3. The tank location is shielded from view of Sokokis Trail and adjoining properties by the existing buildings on site, as well as a wooded tree line buffer along the property boundaries. There will be no cutting of any vegetative buffer. The lower elevation where the tank is to be located on site further buffers the appearance of the tank from adjoining properties.
You're not asking me to add.
Can we say Lori's?
Because it's what's already there.
I'm interested in hearing what you're saying, Lori.
Yes, Glenn.
I get what you're saying, Ed, but something did come up with the lights from the trucks concerning the traffic flow on Route 5, and the statement that is in the findings of fact does address the north and south directions with blocking the exterior lighting from, and truck was actually the issue, not exterior lighting. And then the second sentence is basically what you have anyways, so I would move not to strike with the first sentence,
But how does
that it is applicable.
How does the tank location, the tank doesn't light up? It's talking about the tank location.
Proposed exterior lighting will not create a hazard.
Right.
So talking about the exterior lighting on the tank, so the tank is shielded from the view of Sokokis Trail, so therefore the
Right.
lighting is blinded from, I understand what this says.
Right, I still say any new lighting will be full cutoff and,
But that's in
It's
conditions.
in the conditions.
It's in the conditions, and it's also in the second paragraph.
but it's also our finding why they're meeting the proposal. The tank location is shielded from view of Sokokis Trail by the existing self-storage buildings on site, as well as a wooded tree line buffer from the abutting property. How does that,
They're talking about traffic.
but it doesn't say that.
It most certainly does. Will not create hazards to motorists traveling on adjacent public streets.
Right, the
So the
finding is
tank's-
saying the
So the
tank
tank's
location.
location is out back and it's shielded by the tree line buffer and the buildings.
But the tank isn't giving off any light,
The lights around the tank.
but it doesn't say that.
So we can just say it to say the lights around the tank?
But that's condition number 1.
Right, I don't understand.
Any new lighting-
I think we're talking about
And
something
that's why I'm
else.
saying any new lighting is the lighting that'll be on the tank.
It's in there.
It's in there.
Any new
It says
lighting
that.
will be
Right, I
motion-
know, I left that in there. I just moved that tank location down to buffering. Because the location of the tank itself is shielded, so, and buffered from view from the road and from adjoining properties. That's what buffering is for.
Yeah, it's semantics.
Semantics, that's what we're doing, semantics.
But,
It is.
right, it's
It is.
talking about lighting, and then it's
Right.
talking about buffering.
Right.
So I would agree with you that
Yeah.
you add that sentence, you just pull that sentence out of 3 and put it into 4.
Right. Because
Because it really doesn't have anything to do with quote-unquote lighting, it's buffering, but I don't know voting, so.
But I have a concern that you make any changes that were not voted on in a public meeting would be a problem in any future.
These are findings of fact, so there will not be any changes.
Right, we're not proposing any changes to anything. We already talked about the full cutoff lights,
Right, those.
and that are motion
conditions-
activated.
The conditions here were what were voted on.
We're voting on the not necessarily the conditions, but the findings of fact of what we're doing.
Okay.
Do you have this?
No. Do I need that?
No, you don't really need it.
No, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, because I'm reading them.
Okay.
So are we okay with 3 and 4 as I've written them? 3 is saying any new lighting will meet the criteria of number 3 because they are full cutoff LEDs and they're motion activated with an override. 4 talks about buffering, and that deals with shielding from view the proposed tank. And that is met by the tank being shielded by the existing buildings, the wood-lined tree buffer, and the lower elevation. And we also state there's going to be no cutting of that vegetative buffer. You okay with 3 and 4?
It applies to both, so whatever you want to do. How does the board feel about Ed's comments, number 3, to be substituted with what Angela has in the findings of fact, and number 4, they basically say the same thing.
Yeah. I think if it moves us on, I'm fine with it.
How does the board feel about 3 and 4 with what Ed has?
I'm okay.
I wasn't here
Does
for,
it delay our approval of
Yeah, he's
signing
not.
for another month?
No, we're just,
No, we're not delaying you. We're just
Okay.
going through your findings and facts.
Thank you.
And once we get through these and it's approved, then you can move ahead, okay?
Thanks.
How are you feeling?
I'm good.
Feeling? I'm good with
good.
it.
All right, so we'll leave 3 and 4 as I rewrote
As
it.
Angela, 3 and
Okay.
4 as he wrote it.
Number 5, we're talking about that there can be no significant detrimental effect on the use and peaceful enjoyment of abutting property as a result of noise, vibrations, fumes, odor, dust, glare, or any other cause. So what I wrote up as number 5, stating how it meets that, is that normal operations will occur during usual business hours, excluding emergency situations where extended hours may be necessary. There will not be any heavy traffic volume in or out of the site, and the area of travel on site will be finished with reclaimed asphalt. Any noise, vibrations, fumes, odor, dust, or glare that may occur on site is not expected to have a significant detrimental effect on the use and peaceful enjoyment of abutting properties.
How's the board feeling?
On number 5, what you wrote and what we discussed was that he has no control over certain hours of the evening, whatever. So I'm just going to be just stating that this, during usual business hours, I know excluding emergency situations, but as
That
he
condition was struck.
stated, he can't control when he gets a delivery. So I think that's what we agreed upon, not,
So we'll take that out. Okay.
That is what we agreed on.
Yes. Yep.
All right, so we'll take out the first sentence
First sentence of what you wrote?
of what I wrote. Because I was just taking what was in the findings. As for the remainder, does that sound like our finding that they meet number 5?
From there will not be heavy traffic on to the end of Angela's sentence. I'm fine with, how does the board feel about the any noise and vibration, fumes, dust was not really specifically
Right.
stated.
didn't talk about glare.
Yep.
We did not talk about glare, so they're not really findings of fact.
Well, glare came up during public comments. All these things came up in public comments.
Yeah, and there was the discussion about the trees not being cut, the buffers, the travel way from Route 5.
Clockwise direction.
Yeah, you know, that's all melded together, yes.
All right, so do you feel that all of those things will, not, if any of those do occur, they will have a significant detrimental effect or not?
There won't be any detrimental effect.
Okay,
I just-
then that's what it's saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
I just don't know if we should add it
I don't
specifically.
think we should add it. I do not think we should add
You're
it.
saying that.
Right.
You don't need to add anything else
Right.
in the facts.
Right.
Just by saying it's met. It's redundant.
All right, then why say anything? All right. Just put yourself in the shoes of a judge. That if you don't expound upon standard is met, how is a judge going to know how we met it
Video,
and what met it?
video, and plans.
Oh, boy. All right, you know what? Do it any way you want.
My goodness.
No, I'm tired of this. No, this is
Lori, let's
crazy.
just continue, please.
Okay. The board good with keeping number 5 as is?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Clyde wasn't here, right?
Nope, I wasn't here, so I can't say.
Number 6, Ed didn't have any changes anyways. Did the board review that one?
Good for me.
Yep,
Yep.
I was fine with that.
Number 7, the bulk location, height, or design of the proposed building structures or paved areas or proposed uses thereof will not have a significant detrimental effect on private development, on adjacent properties, or on the value of an adjacent property, which could be avoided by reasonable modification of the plan. Angela stated that this standard has been met and added that the tank will sit inside a fence located a minimum of 50 feet off the abutting property line and will not hinder development of the abutting property, which must maintain a 35-foot setback off the property line. I see that Ed has the fences there, no detrimental effect of the development, minimum 50 feet. There's a couple blanks that aren't filled in. I think the minimum 50 feet was discussed during the meeting. The minimum of 50 feet, it's definitely 126 feet anyways.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, plus or minus
Right.
126 feet.
and of course, the 35-foot setback for the abutting property, so
Correct.
that's all met.
Yeah.
Does the other members of the board feel that 7 reflects what was discussed during the meeting?
I think 7 reflects what was discussed.
What's written here? Is that what we're
Yes.
discussing? Yes. Okay.
No additions or revisions? Number 8, I didn't have any changes. It talks about flood hazard. Property is not in the flood hazard zone, so the standards is met. Does the board agree?
Yes.
Number 9, adequate provisions have been made for the disposal of wastewater or solid waste or for the prevention of ground or surface water contamination. Number 9, standard is met. Ed added the tank will contain liquid petroleum gas, which is upon release changes back to a vapor, thus not a hazard to ground or surface water contaminant. If that can be added, that was brought up in the meeting, it is a fact.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Angela, if you could add Ed's number 9 to the bottom of that, please. Number 10, adequate provisions have been made to control erosion or sedimentation. They're not really doing any excavation or site work. Standard has been met, as found during the meeting. Does the board agree?
Great.
Correct. Yes, agree.
Number 11, adequate provisions have been made to handle stormwater runoff or other drainage problems on site, and any proposed stormwater detention ponds are adequate to serve the stormwater on or the site. Not applicable. There again, he's not clearing any vegetation. There is limited site work barring the piers or the piers to the tank, correct?
The piers and the fencing, really.
The piers, the
all
fencing.
The above ground.
The drive is reclaimed,
Yeah, a couple light poles.
so it's minimum, so not applicable, I agree. How does the rest of the board feel?
Agreed.
We did talk about stormwater runoff to adjoining areas. That's what brought up the whole culvert discussion. But if you don't want to put that in a finding, fine by me.
Culvert for the self-storage unit?
I believe the culvert discussion was around the Ansel Drive
Correct.
issue, which is uphill from the project, which was affected by somebody else's project.
Correct.
Right, we said there's going to be no increased stormwater runoff from the site.
Yeah,
Right.
there isn't going to be.
Right, and that's what I stated in the finding. In my finding,
Okay.
in what I wrote
Oh,
for number
I got you.
11.
Okay, I was talking about erosion control, had done 11, yeah.
Right.
Okay, number 11, adequate provisions have been made to handle stormwater runoff or other drainage problems on site. Any proposed stormwater detention ponds are adequate to serve stormwater on or from the site. And A, okay, Ed has proposed, the project is not expected to increase the amount of stormwater runoff to adjoining areas. The site's existing conditions show that it is previously cleared of vegetation, leaving a gravel and sand base that currently provides sufficient drainage. I don't know if we specifically said that it leaves gravel or a sand base. Sand base would be my question. The sufficient drainage is fine. What did Angela? Angela wrote, the area of development was previously cleared of vegetation, leaving gravel on there in the sand base, which currently provides adequate drainage on site. The tank will contain liquid propane, which is a vapor, thus no hazard contaminants.
The question was asked during the meetings.
Yeah.
We would be increasing anything, and we did discuss that we're
Right.
we're not paving anything. We're
No.
not increasing any runoff, we're
Right.
not creating any.
You're not creating any new, right?
So basically. if
It
we
meets
were-
the standard,
Yeah, so,
basically, so.
yeah. So do you want to remove that sand?
God, no,
things?
because if, I must have missed it, because
Okay.
Angela.
Okay.
Yeah, it is in sand, it
Yeah,
is in
same.
there.
Well, I know it, okay. I must have missed that. My 5-10 pages of notes. And to leave the tank, that last sentence also. That's not in Ed's.
I think in 11, the first line is appropriate because it was discussed. I mean, the other ones pretty much mirror each other, other than the first line in 11.
Right.
It doesn't matter to me. Leave it or.
Yeah, because it reflects back at number 9, we just added the
Right.
same thing.
Right.
Whatever you want, Lauren.
Surface water contaminants, stormwater, or other drainage problems, leave it.
Okay.
12, the proposed water supply will meet the demands of the proposed use and is adequate for fire protection purposes. They're not using their water supply for fire protection. That's up to fire department, was my understanding.
Correct.
I didn't propose water supply.
No,
The-
No, you didn't.
The NFPA engineered fire safety analysis with. the fire
Yeah, that was
Right.
all through the fire department, the back and forth with the fire chief.
That's correct.
They're not using their well to put it out. I think Angela has it correct as not applicable.
We're saying that area water is sufficient so that we don't require them to put a hydrant in or to provide additional water.
The
Or a fire
proposed
pond.
water supply will meet demands of the proposed use and is adequate for fire protection.
I didn't propose a water supply.
Right, and the answer is yes. That it is sufficient, that it doesn't need enhanced water supply because the area water supply is enough. Because that was brought up during public comments as well.
Funny, that is referencing a proposed water supply. There is no proposed water supply, right? So it's just not applicable.
It's not a.
Mike, what's your opinion, please?
I believe that was the comment of the fire department, that they had enough water in the area so that it wasn't necessary to have an additional water supply.
Exactly. If the fire department had said, we don't have sufficient water in the area, we would have required the applicant to propose additional water. The fact that we're not requiring them is because the area water is sufficient to meet fire needs.
The area meaning Lake Arrowhead.
There's public hydrants down the road, we have tank supply, water.
There are some near dry hydrants that are.
You just
Yeah, there's a small-
added the word existing water supply.
Right.
It would-
You
That
existing-
would tie back to the fire safety analysis and the participation of the fire.
So how does the board feel about changing to the standard is met and add Ed's comment saying the area water supplies are sufficient for fire purposes?
And just adding the word extra at the beginning.
Existing instead of
Existing
area.
water, right, existing area water supply.
So existing area water
Right.
supply. How does the board feel?
Agreed.
Great. You good? Has everybody read 13? Adequate provisions have been made for the transportation, storage, and disposal of hazardous substances and materials as defined by state law and hazardous waste ordinance. Angela put the standard has been met. All safety permitting through the state fuel board and the fire department and code enforcement office. I agree with what Angela has written. How does the rest of the board feel?
Agreed.
14, the proposed use will not have any adverse impact on significant scenic vistas or significant wildlife habitat that could be avoided. I don't think there are any state or significant wildlife habitats in that direct area. There are no scenic vistas. Angela has put not applicable. Does the board agree?
Agreed.
15, the project will not increase nitrogen concentrate for subsurface or groundwater at the property line. I think we've beat that one to death. Contains contaminants, excess of drinking water standards. The project served on the site. Groundwater supplies, the applicant shall demonstrate how water quality will be improved. It's not required, so Angela has placed not applicable. Does the board agree?
Agreed.
Ed, would you like to make a motion or ask for a motion?
Yeah.
I would just, I'm not sure if you went through I know you just went through the last half of the findings of facts, but I mean, it needs to be clear that you went through all of them. I don't know.
We did go through all of them.
All right, as long as you guys think, I think it's gonna be recorded that way, but,
Yeah.
it was just a little tough to follow, but as long as you.
No, thank you, I think we've
You got it,
covered.
as long as
yeah.
you,
Yeah.
I'm sure you made it through everything.
Yeah, I mean, barring reading the 4 conditions on the front page, everything else has been gone through.
All right, so we need a motion to approve the findings of fact as written and amended here this evening.
And you're not voting.
He wasn't here.
Right, he's not here. Right, so he doesn't, all right, so Lori's,
I will make a motion to approve the findings of fact as written and amended at tonight's meeting.
all right, do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, from Rebecca.
Rebecca has seconded that.
So all in favor? We have 4 yeas, so the findings are adopted. I think that concludes this application then. That's the last piece.
As soon as your findings of fact is signed, you can pick, I don't know if you have to actually do anything. Angelina doesn't need this one.
He'll have to pick them up after Ed has signed them and I've notarized them so that he can record them.
And when will that be? Yours?
Gonna help me tomorrow?
Okay. I'll reach out, see if I'm gonna come back or send, I can send someone to pick everything up.
Yeah.
Another day down here. Thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, the next item on the agenda was a new item for Girard Farm at 385 Main Street. So if the applicant wants to come on up and let us know what's going on there.
So, I'm the owner and farmer of Girard Farm down the road from the Hanford on 202. And I believe I'm here because horticultural activities are not currently allowed within the general purpose zone, for which we've decided that what I'm doing falls under that purpose, so we want to make sure that things are right so that we can continue. And I did submit this document describing what it is that we're doing.
All right, great, thank you. Questions or comments from the board? And I guess one for Dean or Mike.
Dean or Mike, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think a public hearing is required on this type of an application, correct?
You're gonna want a public hearing.
Okay, so we'll set it for public hearing after. Mike, you wanted to come on up?
Sure. What actually, I just want to give you a little background on this.
Please.
On this project. This gentleman has been in operation for several years, and he came to me to put up another greenhouse. Of course, the greenhouse is 30 by 96, so that's in excess of 2,500 square feet, so that prompts a site plan approval, and then we looked further into it. Originally, his use was to raise livestock, and this is something that we probably should address within our ordinance. This is an internal thing. Do we want to allow horticulture in the general purpose zone if we're going to allow somebody to raise livestock? To my opinion, what really is the difference other than the potential? The big thing would be the watershed protection portion of that general purpose district as far as horticulture is concerned. So maybe that's the thought process behind the zoning that way, but the watershed protection district really is on the opposite end of the general purpose district opposed to Girard Farms. So even if he does have pesticides, but Mr. Girard, I believe, is all organic.
Yeah, so we don't use any synthetic fertilizers, and we also don't use any of the organically approved pesticides, so we use other techniques for pest management.
Such as?
Floating row covers, crop rotation with our other location in Lyman, and just growing strong, healthy plants. So if we lose a little bit to some pest issues, we don't really have them because we're hedging our bets on like 40 different types of vegetables. So
Okay.
it's not a monoculture.
So that's the reason why he's here, for conditional use and the site plan approval of the building for a 2,500 square foot greenhouse, which we should get familiar with because it's probably going to be another one in the near future. It's very, as far as the greenhouse, the usage of a greenhouse is vast, as we all know, and they're becoming more and more popular all the time. People in the 2,500 square foot is obviously a threshold for commercial activity.
So should we have some type of a plan sketch showing?
Of the greenhouse?
Yeah, the expansion of it, or we're fine just?
They're all pre-engineered structures.
Okay.
They're all pre-engineered structures. They come in big hoops and designed to hold, like the type that he has, designed to hold the 70-pound snow load, things of that nature that concern us. And it's the heavier mill poly that's installed on them. They're rated for, I believe his model is called the Northeaster. So
they're designed in New Hampshire for harsh winter climates. And also, we're growing everything in the soil, so we don't have any sort of intensive growing in hydroponics or anything like that, so there's no issues with,
So that also lends to the foundation piece of the structure, and he's growing on top of the soil, so there's no concrete piers or frost walls or anything like that. It's all anchored.
Great, thanks Mike. Any questions for Mike or the applicants?
I have one. Do we have any requirement to do anything about PFAS or be concerned about PFAS from the planning board level?
I don't think that area wasn't used as a farm prior, or was it? Right?
No, it was previously a driving range. There was almost no topsoil, no spreading of sludge, and I don't have any reason to believe that we have PFAS there, so hopefully we can communicate that to our customers so they can trust that the food we're producing is safe. But we're waiting to do any sort of testing on water or soil because farmers who are, acutely affected should have access to those testing resources, which are being really strained at the moment in the state.
Just thinking of the general area of where that's at and what historically has been there, whether, we need to talk about that.
Dean, do you see any issues?
The PFAS was also new. I mean, I'm just not very well versed on it, so we can look into it as the best I can give you.
Do that before the public hearing.
Yeah, between now and the public hearing.
Yeah, we can do that after the public hearing.
All right, so do we want to just set this for a public hearing and take it from there? Do we have time for the next meeting?
I've already got things set in place on that.
Okay. All right, so the next meeting is May 4th, yeah. So we'll set it up for a public hearing on that day.
Sidewalk? Yes, no?
Anybody feel the need for a sidewalk?
It's pretty open.
Go out for a hike.
Yeah, I'm good.
So we get ready.
I'll show you around. A lot of eggs,
So it's the sense of the board that no sidewalk
I
will
don't-
be needed on this application, so. Not hearing anybody else with any other questions or comments, we'll set this for the public hearing in 2 weeks, and then we can move forward to a final vote on it. Is there anything else we need to discuss on this matter?
You finding the application complete tonight?
Yeah, you should.
We should.
Yeah, before the public hearing, right?
That's why I asked about a site plan, about a plan and everything.
Yeah.
All right, so we have everything. Just need a motion finding it complete, or is there anything missing, Laura?
Well, I just really would like that piece of paper, that at least sketch plan. What do you,
If they're not in your application.
Yeah.
you can do it.
look.
yeah,
Yeah.
just something.
Well, that
I knew that's where it was.
is just for...
That's why I asked.
I know.
I'm used to seeing
Just-
at least a
yeah,
hand
just the sketch
drawn.
place,
I'm
yeah, at
here
least the
at
sketch
least seeing a
place.
hand drawn so you can see, oh, is it heading towards an abutter's house? Or where is it located?
okay, if we're looking at this, whereabouts on that property? I know it's.
I'm not sure what it is that you're looking at, because I did submit a drawing of the greenhouse and estimated distance to the abutters, which is like hundreds and thousands of feet.
Yeah.
It's a very large property.
It is a large property,
Yeah.
so it's not gonna be right up against 202, obviously, you're gonna set it back.
Right
Yeah.
square in the
It
middle.
was a driving range, it's big.
Yes, please.
Yeah, go on, Mike.
There are actually 3 greenhouses that were placed there already, that nobody is really aware of, and they're all the same size.
Yeah.
Why this didn't come to light before,
Yeah, I
maybe
know.
I'm being too nitpicky, it's horticulture, I should have just let them go, but the ordinance is the ordinance.
So are we doing after the fact approval on those, or just?
Let's do the whole ball of wax, so it's all
I think we
correct.
should.
So it's all correct, yeah.
So does this need to be amended then?
2 or 3 there now.
Looks like 2.
4.
Looking to build the fifth.
So
and
this
that's it.
is one of the
Yes, we've got
first
that.
Yeah.
initial, which one
There's
do
something
you
here.
have? All right, so you've got that one, it's gonna go beyond the very last one.
If you approve the use, Ed, then I'll take care of the rest.
Okay, thank you, that helps.
Yeah, just want to make sure that the applicant's covered,
Absolutely.
forwards, backwards, every which way.
Yeah.
All righty. How's it look?
Far, far away
Yeah.
from everything, so yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's all I need is like,
Yeah, I figure as long as we have something in the file showing it, and
yeah.
everything's a million miles away from everything else out there. Yeah, we've got a lot, we've got enough. So I think it's pretty complete. If someone just wants to make a motion,
I'm happy to make a motion to
Okay.
accept that.
Thank you, Angela.
all right, so we motion
Find
by
the
Diane.
application, find the
Complete.
application complete.
All right, do we have a second? All right, Clyde will second it, so all in favor? We have 5 yeas. So we'll set it for a public hearing and then get it moving from there, and then Mike can do his thing to make everything else all nice and legal and formally. Thank you
for
very
coming in.
much.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Is there any other business that needs to come up before we adjourn and go into our workshop?
I'd just like to introduce James Ferrara, who is your new member, okay?
Welcome.
Yeah, sorry for not, I didn't know what to do when I came in. So I was
Okay.
in the back of the room.
Well, you could have sit up front, but that's fine, you can.
Yeah.
You're all sworn in and everything else?
Yeah, I was sworn in last night.
Oh, so
I
you can
think-
come sit up here
Yes.
and be part of the workshop at least, when we get to that. All right, anything else? All right, we'll just wait a second for Angela to come back, and that way we can wrap things up. You know the rule about the new guy brings the coffee and donuts to the meetings for the first few months or so, right?
First few months.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a good ad.
Are you just looking to adjourn?
No, we're just waiting for Angela before we adjourn it, and then we'll go into the workshop.
James is
Is that workshop?
your medical software.
Project manager.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, welcome. Thanks for joining.
No, thanks for having me. It's really interesting, and I pretty much didn't understand most of what you said, but I'll catch on.
Alrighty, great. Alright, so now I think there's nothing else that needs to come up, or?
As you can see, there's now a nice pile of 6 at the end of the table. There is the Patco subdivision that arrived for their preliminary.
Sketch plan review.
No, you guys have done sketch plan.
Oh, this
almost
is.
6 months ago. This is their
okay, all
improvement. So that arrived. So
Pick a copy up before you leave tonight, please.
So will
Clyde,
that be
it
on
has-
for the next meeting, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Clyde, it has not gone to the FTP yet. I have not had a chance to come up for a breath of air.
It's fine.
I'll get it up there for you, but for now you have paper.
Yeah.
Now, that's a change for you, Clyde.
You know,
Baby steps.
You're my black sheep that rather the computer, so.
it's that engineer thing. I don't know what to do. Can't help
Next
it.
meeting? What's this
Give me
still
access to an
waiting?
FTP server.
I didn't get that, where'd that come from? So, because you got that. Apparently from Berwick, there's a workshop planned for May 2nd at 6:30 at the Berwick Town Hall in the auditorium. You have an auditorium. Workshop will be presented. Dean, you didn't pass this along? From SMPDC regarding boardsmanship along with additional information. There'll be time for questions and discussions. Topics are roles of the board, quasi-judicial versus legislative, ex parte communications, conflict of interest, process of a review, Robert's rules, how to address specific issues in the process. Please try to attend. I know you have a planning.
So that's a Monday?
Yeah, so I was.
Okay, and that's it. So,
What is the date?
May 2nd.
I didn't know that was final.
What time?
Emails are on that.
6:30.
So is this something that's
Is there
gonna
anything
be
else that we need
emailed
to
out,
discuss
sent out,
tonight?
or
Can I
just
find out
write
what
it down
we're doing
and
with
show
change
up?
orders?
Yeah.
What she just put out?
Yeah.
Typically
Change
emailed, but
ordinance?
Something about
that's my take out.
change
So I just
ordinance,
write it in.
section 3.01.
Marijuana?
I got
That's gonna
Too much
hit
going on.
next. You guys have mobile vending for tonight that you guys were
For our
gonna
workshop.
discuss.
Okay.
That's gonna hit next.
Got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
This is next
All
week.
right, so if there's nothing else, we just need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
We have a motion by Lori, seconded by Clyde. All in favor of adjourning? We have, let's make it 6 yeas.